Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Gateway to IT. In our last video, we created and configured the storage networks on pfSense firewall. In this video, we will create a data store on locally connected hard drive to store our virtual machines and create a VM for test for demo purpose only. We will create a test VM for demo purpose. I intend to create the data store on my V management, the management cluster on ESXi 4. So if when I select the ESXi 4, initially you will find it to be on the summary page, but if you need to create a data store, you need to find out what all devices are connected to your ESXi server. You can select the ESXi server and then go to configure and select the storage devices. Here you can see the storage devices that I have connected to this particular ESXi server. So I have 6 storage devices, but it is not correctly sorted right now. So let me sort it by the name. So when I sort them by the name, you can see there are 5 storage devices, and I intend to create my data store on this device, on this storage device, which has 500 gigabytes of space on it. And as you can see, for data store column, it says not consumed, so it means that there is no data store. Currently it is not in use. So in order to utilize this data store to create our VM, all we need to do is to right click on the ESXi server. Once you right click on that, we need to go to storage, click on new. As soon as you click on new, you are presented with 3 choices for VMFS, NFS, or VWall. We'll discuss NFS and VWall later, but let's select the default selection, VMFS file system. E6i uses VMFS file system to create the data store. So I have it selected and click on next. Here it is asking me to provide the name of the data store. So as you know that I'm very particular about the naming convention. So I'm going to give it a name, data store 1. It is local to the ESXi 4. And now I need to select the storage device on which I wanted to create my data store. So I just sort them by name and I select the device that has the capacity of 500 gigabytes. So once I select that, then I click on next. Now it's asking me to choose the version of VMFS, whether I need to have a VMFS 5 or 6. Not sure why would you go back to something which is backward, but there may be scenario where you need to select the VMFS 5. But for this demo, I'm going to select the VMFS 6 uh, file system and click on next. Once I click on next, now it gives me option to, if I want to utilize some part of the hard drive for the data store. As you can see, if I move this slider, it reduces the size. I can utilize, let's say, around 263 gigabytes or 250 gigabytes of this particular device as a data store. But because I want to use this entire data store, this entire hard drive, to be a data store for my VMFS for my ESXi server. So I just select the entire data store size and then click on next. Once I click on next, I now get a chance to review the settings that I have done and then click on finish. As soon as I click on finish, you can see that uh, the hard drive has now been formatted with the VMFS and is available as a data store. So if I go to the data store tab, I can see that I have data store 1 as local ESXi4 connected, and I can also right click on it and browse it for the files, but currently there are no files. So let me go back and create a VM for just for test purpose. So I select my ESXi4 server, right click on it, create on new virtual machine, select the option to create a new virtual machine, and then because this is going to be a test, and I'm going to delete this VM after I create it. So I'm not worried about the name. So I give it a name as test, click on next. The default selection is good for me. So I click on next again. And here I select the data store on which I want my VM to store its files like the VMDK file or the configuration files. So now I select the data store and then click on next. I select the default compatibility as XS 7.0 and later and then click on next. Select the default OS that is presenting, click on next. And because I'm not worried about this VM as I'm going to delete it after the demo is complete, so I just click on next here on the customize hardware screen. However, you can actually customize the hardware of the VM by clicking on add new device and select the device that you want to add. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to click on next. Once I click on next, I now get the option to review the settings or review the configuration of my VM and then click on finish. Once I click on finish, I see a test machine, a test VM has been created on my ESXi4 server. And if I take a look at the data store, this machine is using the ESXi4 data store 1 to store its file. And if we go to the data store tab, we can now see that the test folder for the VM has been created and it is storing all the files that are required by a VM, such as the VMX file, the VMDK file, and etc. So we can see that how we can create the data store. Just in case if you're not satisfied with the settings of your data store and you want to delete it, you can always go ahead and create on delete data store. But if you have a VM stored on data store, you will not be able to delete it. So make sure that once you clear the data store of all the device, all the content, only then you can proceed and select the delete data store, and it should be deleted without an issue. So here we complete a demo for creating a data store and creating a virtual machine on it. In the next video, we're going to attach a remote storage to our ESXi infrastructure using the TrueNAS device. So stay connected. And if you think that I'm providing value and you like my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and share it with your colleagues and friends. Thank you, and you have a great day.